From stumbling upon a bloody crime scene in a haunted hospital, to a well-known newspaper sued for exposing a landlord's paranormal house, here are two documented paranormal accounts of supernatural encounters. Be sure you are not watching this at night, because you likely won't be able to sleep. Number 1. Kuhn Memorial Hospital. In 1832, a hospital was built in Vicksburg, Mississippi, to address the sudden outbreak of smallpox. Further down the line, it served in healing wounded soldiers during the Civil War. But when the yellow fever broke out in 1878, it took the lives of 20 staff members and patients. Though the exact number of deaths was not ever determined, and it was estimated to be higher. The hospital continued to thrive, however, even transforming into a medical school, up until it burst into flames due to unknown and mysterious circumstances in 1918. An elderly man by the name of Lee Kuhn passed away and gave $400,000 of his estate to the hospital, which was used to help renovate and expand it. In honor of this man, the hospital named itself after him. The facility thrived once more for several years until it was shut down due to the lack of funding. For a duration of 20 years, it sat there abandoned and left to crumble. This site, of course, caught the attention of paranormal hunters and other curious onlookers, not only because of its rich historical history, but the fact that many lives were lost here. One day, in June 2015, two paranormal hunters came to the site. What was supposed to be a typical day of scanning for apparitions, disembodied voices, and shadows turned out to be much more horrific. They came across the body of a woman by the name of Sharon Wilson. The 69-year-old was just reported missing 12 hours ago. The group immediately called the police, stating they knew they probably shouldn't be here, but they saw a dead body. The police caught two suspects who were driving her vehicle. From the evidence and confessions provided, Wilson indeed suffered a tragic and scary end. She was last seen Saturday night and reported missing Sunday noon. The two suspects and brothers Akeem and Raphael McLeod confessed that they robbed her house and then kidnapped her. Paranormal investigator and co-founder of the Mississippi Paranormal Research Institute, David Childress, knows the hospital all too well, as he's conducted many sessions there. He insisted that on Monday, the site had a distinct disheveled appearance, other than the natural crumbling and decaying they were used to. According to Childress, it appeared that Wilson was first taken inside this abandoned hospital and then dragged out of it, most likely not alive. He specified that there were physical signs of someone being dragged down from the second floor of the building center, as there were stains of blood dispersed throughout the stairs, blood, the floor, and the grass, where Wilson was later discovered. According to the lead paranormal investigator, he believes that even though this building has a lengthy history and strong paranormal occurrences, it really should be demolished, stating it's condemned and is open for things like this to happen. Closing his statement with, "Some spirits just needs to be left alone." Childress certainly makes a good point, and given the upsurge in exploration videos, can you imagine if a third-party explorer was also there in that abandoned building, just casually looking around until they suddenly witness an actual murder being executed right before their eyes? A chilling sight that would be, and making it out alive even more traumatizing. Thankfully, for the sake of others' safety, the building was demolished in February 2019. Number 2. Another documented case that invites chills and terror was one that occurred in the 20th century. The reporter of this case allegedly worked in Daily Mail, and according to some sources, he almost lost his job over reporting this paranormal incident. The exact story revolved around a man named Stephen Phillips, who was located in Egham, England. He had built a successful career in writing, particularly poetry, and in 1904, he rented a house to conduct one of his plays. When he came face to face with the reporter, he stated that this very house was haunted, and he was in no shape or form disclosed about that. According to Phillips, during the evenings, he would hear raps, scratchings, and light and heavy footsteps. On top of that, he detailed hearing horrific cries, likening it to someone being strangled. The paranormal incidents didn't just occur at night. He stated that even in broad daylight, he could actually see the door flinging open, with footsteps accompanying it. He explained that he was not the only witness. His servants and family experienced these occurrences as well. His own daughter saw what looked like a dwarf quickly running across the garden and disappearing into thin air. Curiosity got the best of Phillips, and he started to inquire about the history regarding this house. What he learned was quite chilling. A tramp had broken into the home and strangled the mother and child nearly 50 years ago. Upon hearing this, all of his servants evacuated the home without any hesitation. Phillips learned that the time the previous tenants resided there was also short-lived. He himself left. Aside from the Daily Mail, was interviewed by multiple other news outlets, and his account remained consistent. The landlord of the haunted house, Mr. Arthur, learned about this and immediately took action. He first called Phillips and told him that because of him, now it would be impossible for him to rent future tenants. He went on to sue Daily Mail for damages, albeit unsuccessfully. According to reports, the Daily Mail actually fought the case against them, arguing that the house was reportedly haunted even before they published the story. What do you guys think was going on here? Do you think Barrett was indeed trying to hide something quite sinister to keep his businesses running? Or do you think Phillips was just wanting attention? Honestly, I feel that Phillips was genuine in this case because he already had a successful career at the time, having toured for 6 years with Sir Frank Benson's Shakespearean Company, and even editing the Poetry Review, which further helped his poetry get out there. He even stated that the paranormal occurrences in the house were actually a hindrance to his work. He described feeling both annoyed and amused, but was eventually forced to exit due to the extensive ghostly encounters. Either way, the lengthy history of the house, with an actual murder occurring there, is eerie to think about and does support the paranormal sightings that were described in detail. Those were 2 documented paranormal stories. I hope you found the video informative or interesting, and feel free to comment below your own paranormal stories. I will share my own that occurred literally just yesterday. If you would like to support me, my PayPal is linked below in the description, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting content.